So in this section we're going to talk about probability. There are a few things you need to know with this. Just a couple of simple terms. Probability is a chance of an event happening. So any type of event, it can be anything from a spinner, from a dice, etc, etc. Now, the event that we're talking about is an outcome that you want. It has to be a specified outcome. So for example, if we have a spinner going from 1, 2, 3, and 4, we can then say we want the event of a pointer to land at 1. That would be a certain probability. So that will be an event. Now, events don't necessarily have to be successful. For example, obviously we have a chance of success if it lands on a 1, but we can also talk about the success of it landing on a 5. The probability of any given event is put here. The experimental probability is the number of successful outcomes over the total number of trials. Now, as I was mentioning before, it's on a certain scale. It doesn't always have to be successful. So if it's not successful at all, if it's impossible, then we say that the probability is 0. If it's absolutely certain that it will occur though, then we'll say the probability is 1. The rest of this scale is anything in between. With the notation of probability, we say that the probability of an event A occurring is given by PR of A. So if we want the probability of 1, we would simply write PR of 1. Probability of B, you would write PR of B. Here's just a quick example of how we work out certain probability. A 6-sided die is rolled 30 times and the following results occur. So if you're not sure what a 6-sided die is, I can try and draw it. Okay, so probability of a 6-sided die. Now, we're just going to have a look at how we work it out based on things that we know. We don't know if this die is loaded or not. If it's a loaded die means it's in balance, so when you roll it, it won't necessarily occur the way you want it to. Now, it says here, based here on the results, what is the probability of obtaining a 1 on the next roll? If we want a 1 to show up, we know that there are it's shown up 3 times out of 30. So our probability of a 1 showing up is then equal to 3 over 30. Now, we want to leave everything in fractions if possible in this topic, so that means if we have any fractions, we need to follow 2 simple rules. Number 1, we need everything simplified. And number 2, we want to leave it in improper fractions. Obviously, 3 out of 30 isn't simplified. The top and bottom can be divided with 3. And so we get 1 out of 10. And that's the most simplified form. Now, always double check your result. Always double check that this lies in between 0 to 1. If it's not in between 0 to 1, then you have a problem with your probability. A probability cannot be negative, and it should always, it can also not be greater than 1.